In the landscape of American protests, one number keeps coming up: 3.5%. Activists cite it as both a goal and a source of hope. So what is the 3.5% rule, and what might it mean for the United States?
The idea comes from research by political scientists Erica Chenoweth and Maria Stepan, who examined hundreds of major protest campaigns from 1900 to 2006. Their findings, published in the book Why Civil Resistance Works, showed that nonviolent movements succeed far more often than violent ones, about 53% versus 26%. The key difference is scale. Peaceful tactics draw a broader, more diverse crowd, increasing pressure on those in power.
As they sifted through the data, Chenoweth and Stefan noticed a striking pattern. In every case they studied, once roughly 3.5% of a country's population became actively and persistently involved in a nonviolent campaign, the movement prevailed. Below that line, success was far less certain. Above it, governments ultimately yielded. In the United States today, 3.5% translates to nearly 12 million people, small in percentage terms, enormous in practical terms.
The concept has leapt from academia to street slogans. Demonstrators opposing the Trump administration, for instance, have framed their turnout in light of the 3.5% threshold. Organizers of the June 2025 No Kings protests estimated 4 to 6 million participants, about 1.2 to 1.8% of the population. Impressive, yet still shy of the tipping point.
Momentum continues. On this 5th anniversary of civil rights icon John Lewis's passing, more than 1,600 Good Trouble Lives On events are planned nationwide. The name echoes Lewis's call for good trouble, necessary trouble, and organizers openly cite the 3.5% rule as inspiration. Still, even Chenoweth cautions against treating the figure as a magic number. It is a historical observation, not a guarantee for the future. Past movements weren't aiming for 3.5%. They simply reached it as they grew. Hitting the mark matters, but so does how a movement gets there.
Quality counts. Successful campaigns emphasize strict, nonviolent discipline, clear demands, and sustained action, not just one big day. The original research focused on efforts to topple entire governments. Today's U.S. protests operate in a more complex, backsliding democracy where many citizens still trust elections and institutions. Mobilizing millions under those conditions is different from rallying against an outright dictatorship.
What then does the 3.5% rule really offer? First, a concrete target. Change is possible if enough people participate. Second, a strategic reminder. Nonviolence isn't just moral, it's pragmatic because it invites wider involvement. Finally, it underlines the long game. Building to 12 million engaged citizens requires organizing that can last months or even years.
Right now, U.S. protest movements are large, energetic, and well below that threshold. Whether they eventually cross it will depend on their ability to stay unified, remain peaceful, and keep the pressure on. If history is any guide, reaching 3.5% would represent a tipping point few governments, or in this case few policies, can ignore.
For organizers and observers alike, the rule is less a rigid formula than a powerful benchmark, a reminder that lasting change usually begins when a critical mass of ordinary people decides to show up and keep showing up, together.